guys, Mizuki. Today's video was suggested by one of our Discord members, Mr.Frosty. The title is You Will Never Go on a Cruise Again After Watching This Video by Dantavius channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's watch it.
The ocean is a dangerous place. You got rogue waves,
Don't
you
tell
got
me.
pirates, you got Cthulhu. So it might surprise you to hear that in 2023, over 30 million people willingly.
Not gonna lie, I think we humans, we shouldn't be on air, and we shouldn't be over water, okay? We shouldn't. We don't have wings, and we are not fish, you know? We are not, even though some people think we are. We are not. So yeah, I prefer staying on actual solid earth, you know? Haha. Yeah. Of course, if one day I have to fly to my new country home or something, probably do it, but probably we'll freak out in the middle of this journey. Yeah.
Chose to go on a cruise. Personally, I can't imagine anything more horrific than being stuck in the middle of the ocean with thousands of potential serial killers. Not to mention, the cruise industry is fucking horrible. Disease, tax evasion, exploitation of workers, pollution, murder. The list goes on. But we're not talking about any of that stuff.
Wait. People use cruises to do tax evasion? How that works? Interesting. Oh, wait, I'm not saying that I'm gonna do something. I'm not saying that. Okay? Please, don't put me on a list to be observed, my taxes and etc. I'm not saying that I'm gonna do that, okay?
Today, we're talking about one specific incident that will make you reconsider ever getting on a cruise.
Cruise from hell. Oh my god, is that so horrible? It is worse than Concordia? No, it's worse than Concordia situation. No way.
The poop cruise?
The poop cruise.
Poop cruise.
Don't tell me. Poop cruise? No. The poop cruise from hell. They actually say this on the journals, actually saying this on history media. Oh my god, Carnival poop cruise from hell. Documents obtained by CNN reveal cruise fiasco was disaster waiting to happen. Sick cruise ship all too familiar. Oh my god, this is not serious. But why? Why poop? Why is it related to poop? I just cannot imagine that. Oh my god, this is insane. This is so insane.
Poop cruise. 4,200 passengers on board.
Ended up stranded at sea, spending 6 days crapping into a plastic bag.
There's no lights, no water.
Oh wait, what? So they pooped in plastic bags, but why? What happened?
We can't flush.
There's and piss on the floors.
Many passengers used red plastic bags as toilets.
Human waste was actually piling up.
Hundreds slept in hallways or topside to escape the foul and stagnant air below deck.
It's February 7th,
Oh my god,
2013.
how that
We're on the
happened?
Carnival Triumph, one of the finest damn cruise vessels to sail the seven seas, with its state-of-the-art restaurants, world-class entertainment, and who could forget, flushing toilets. You're in for the time of your life. After 2 days of smooth sailing, you arrive to the beautiful city of Cozumel, Mexico, where you spend the day shopping, sipping
Mexico!
pina coladas on the beach, and
Yay!
trying not to think about the crippling third world poverty right outside the resort. Around 6 p.m., you get back to the boat.
Yeah,
You
that
hit the
looks like
buffet
my
and stuff
country.
your fat face so much that you can barely breathe. Then, you decide to check out the cruise comedian.
Huevos rancheros. Pico de gallo.
Alright, that was a bad idea. But the night is still young, so you head over to the leader deck where the DJ plays Gangnam Style on repeat 27 times in a row. But you don't mind. God, what a great song. After having more than a few cocktails, you hit the buffet one last time before stumbling back to your room and finally getting in bed. Time for some well-deserved rest before hitting the breakfast buffet in the morning. But just as you finally drift off, your sleep is interrupted by the sound of Alpha Team is code for fire. This sound was blasting throughout the entire ship at 5:27 a.m.
Oh,
But let's back up
no.
a bit. Just 15
Concoy's
minutes earlier,
episode.
the ship's engineer heard an alarm go off in the engine room. He immediately went to check it out, and to his horror, he saw that one of the diesel generators was spraying fuel all over the place. If he didn't act fast, the whole ship would go up in flames.
What?
He had to make it to the other side of the engine room to shut off the generator manually. Only one problem.
What?
The engine room
How?
was
How
now
that
flooded with
happened?
gas up to his ankles. One wrong move, and he would be burnt to a crisp. He carefully started making his way to the control panel, and boom! The diesel ignited and the engineer was incinerated. I'm kidding, he was fine. The fuel did ignite, but he was able to make it out on time. But now, there was the small issue of a massive fire in the engine room. That's when the Alpha Team message went out to the rest of the ship. Smoke was starting to fill up the lower decks, and thick clouds were spewing out of the ship's tail on the top deck. People were unsurprisingly freaking the fuck out. Many of them put on their life jackets and gathered near the
No,
lifeboats.
don't tell me.
Having
Don't
a
tell me.
widespread panic on a ship is never a good thing, so the captain told everyone to stay calm and that everything was under control.
We are really sorry about the wake-up call so early, but everything is under control.
No one could understand what the hell he was saying because of his Italian accent, which also reminded them of the Costa Concordia accident from last year. Now everyone...
Yes, it reminds Class of Concordia, yes. But I mean, at least they don't have the same level of captain for what it seems. I mean, at least up until now, in 4 minutes of watching this video, it doesn't seem that it was actually his fault. But let us see. Let us see what the future deserves for him and to us as viewers.
Freaking out even more. But then the cruise director, Jen, assured everyone that the situation was being handled and everything was going to be okay.
Everything is completely under control, so please folks, there's no point waiting in the muster station to go back to your cabin, go back to bed, go and have some coffee, have some breakfast.
This calmed people down, but things were pretty fucking far from okay. The fire was still raging in the engine room, so the captain gave the order to activate the CO2 cooling system, which quickly put out the fire. There we go. Captain Luigi saved the day, but just as he was getting ready to head back to his cabin for a celebratory plate of gabagool, one of the engineers came back with terrible news. The fire had completely destroyed the engine. The boat was now stuck in the middle of the ocean with no power.
Oh, now I know
wait,
where we're gonna
we'll get to that later.
where we are going.
4,229 people were now lost at sea, with no air conditioning, no hot food, no TV, and worst of all, no toilets. This was not good. Cruise ships are some of the most filthy, vile places on the entire planet, and that's when the toilets are working. So you can only imagine how bad this is gonna get. It didn't take long for shit to hit the fan. About an hour in, the toilets were already getting clogged, so the crew started handing out the infamous red hazard bags to people pooping, and it was suggested that everyone should pee in the shower.
As you probably know by now, the toilets are not flushing, and it's going to start causing a little bit of a problem in a short while. So we've come up with
a little bit of a problem, just a little bit of a problem.
Deliver some red bags to all of the bathrooms on board, including the stateroom bathrooms, your cabin bathrooms.
Yes, everyone, we would just go poop in some bags because that is awesome, right? I mean, it's not like they have any better ideas, so that's comprehensible given the situation, but I mean, why they just don't, I mean, of course, I don't know what I'm saying, okay guys, I don't know what I'm saying. Probably there are many reasons for people to not put their asses out of the ship and just poop there on the ocean. But yeah, that should be an option better than poop your sacks.
And if you do need to do a number 2, we ask that you please do deposit that into the red bags, and then we're going to put metal bins in the corridors on every deck on the ship. If you would be so kind as to drop them into the metal bins in the corridors, that would be fantastic. And if you do need to do a number 1, everybody, to say filling up the toilet bowls, if you can do it in the shower.
The lack of air conditioning was not helping things at all. Pretty soon, most of the ship was smelling like an Arby's dumpster on a hot summer day. A lot of people opted to move their mattresses out to the deck rather than sleeping inside with the stench. By the second day, the food supply was running dangerously low. And you might be asking, how? There's so much food on these ships, how could they have run out in a day? Well, you gotta remember, 90% of this food is frozen slop, so without working freezers, it was just sitting there decomposing, which only added to the already horrendous smell. And if that wasn't bad enough, some people were actually hoarding food. They were hiding hamburgers and cereal in their rooms like animals. Luckily, another cruise ship, the Carnival Legend, came to the rescue and dropped off some much-needed food and supplies. Good thing, too, because pretty sure these people were about 6 hours away from eating each other. Now, this was no gourmet food by any means. Unlike the delicious meals from today's sponsor, Cook Unity. Cook Unity is the first chef-to-consumer platform.
Yummy, but not so yummy after seeing people talk all the time about poop, right? I think I would not be able to eat anything else today, at least today.
Individual chefs instead of in a factory. And they come straight to your door. All you gotta do is pop them in the microwave for a few minutes and you can enjoy a delicious meal. Look at all these meals they sent me. They even have different options for different diets, like vegan, paleo, and
to be honest, I
gluten-free
cannot stand even look
Today,
at food
I'm gonna go
right
with the
now. Oh my
roasted chicken
god.
and creamy mushroom sauce from Chef Cedric Nicolas. And I gotta say, it's pretty delicious, okay? The mashed potatoes actually remind me of the ones your mom makes. Those schlub meals on the Carnival Triumph would be so jealous right now. Even Benny was enjoying it. You know, since me and the missus split up a few years back, I find that cooking wastes a lot of time, and I could be using that time to make more YouTube videos, so I would say for the amount of time saved, plus how scrumptious the food is, Cook Unity is definitely the move. And the nice thing about them is that the subscription is super flexible. You can pause, skip weeks, or cancel at any time. So go to cookunity.com/Dantavius50 or click the link in the description below.
I bet it doesn't have in my
code
country.
Dantavius50 to get 50% off your first order of Cook Unity meals. And try them out for yourself. Thanks, Cook Unity. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, that's right. The Carnival Legend dropped off food, but without working microwaves and freezers, they were limited to things like cold hot dogs and onion sandwiches. But that wasn't the bad part. The bad part was that people were forced to wait in line for hours to get food like they were in the Soviet Union or some shit. But hey, at least they weren't gonna starve. 2 more cruise ships would stop by that day and drop off more food, which pretty much solved their food shortages for the rest of the trip. But with one problem down, more kept arising. One passenger was in urgent need of dialysis, so the Coast Guard had to transport her to one of the other cruise ships so she could get to the hospital immediately. Which begs the question, why didn't they just transfer everyone to another ship and just be done with it? Well, it turns out it's not as easy as putting a board between 2 boats and having everyone walk across.
You know, it was just scary the way they put me down. They put me in a stair rope, and the Coast Guard said that don't worry about it, that they would catch me, and you know, they were going to hold me back, and they did. And then they transferred me to the bigger boat, and, you know. These
ship-to-ship transfers are actually pretty risky, and Carnival would rather have 4,000 pissed off people rather than 1 dead one. So for now, they were pretty much stuck on the Triumph with no way out. And not only did people have to stand in line for food, but also to charge their devices. This was going to be a massive problem. With no way to watch Family Guy on their phones and tablets, the mood on the boat started to change. Everyone was starting to get a little bit more rowdy, a little bit more raucous. And the crew was doing everything in their power to try to keep people distracted from the reality that they were living in.
And hey guys, just because we're stuck in the middle of the ocean with, you know, no working toilets, doesn't mean we can't have some fun, all right?
But it wasn't enough. And the ship's community was so bad that it was just making people more irritated.
Fuck's Mexican cookie, what are you talking about? It's like a chocolate chip with sauce all over it? What are you talking about?
This guy stinks!
Management had to find a way to calm down the growing frustration.
Oh my god, at this point in that ship, everything stinks. We have to agree on that one.
Or they might have a mutiny on their hands. So someone came up with the most brilliant idea ever. Free booze. An open bar was established on the Lido deck, and believe me when I say,
oh yeah,
people
the
took
booze.
advantage. It took only about 5 minutes for the crew to realize how tremendously stupid their idea was. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been on a cruise or not, and if you haven't, you're lucky to not have encountered a specific group of individuals who I call cruise people. And I use the term people lightly because they're basically animals. They shouldn't even be allowed to live in society, okay? We should just put them all on cruise ships and then sink them. So you have a bunch of agitated, psychotic cruise people who haven't been able to watch Family Guy for 2 days. And now they're absolutely plastered, okay? This was a recipe for disaster. Fights were breaking out, people were throwing furniture, they were peeing in the pool. According to one crew member, a few hours after the open bar, there was a blackout for 15 minutes. We had panic attacks, a fight, a person threatening to jump overboard. It got loud.
Imagine a blackout for 15 minutes in a world nowadays that everyone has some level of anxiety and depression and I don't know, like panic syndrome, for example. And then you have an entire ship with 400 plus people in a blackout for 50 minutes without water, energy, and everything else already. And the poop stinks like poop. What do you think that's gonna happen with these people, huh? Sounds promising.
Didn't open the bars again. Yeah, the open bar didn't even last 2 hours before they cut that shit off, and no more alcohol was served for the entire rest of the trip. But hey, it wasn't all bad news. That day, Jen made an announcement that a tugboat was on its way to tow the Triumph to the nearest port.
Oh, it wasn't.
Waiting for the tugboats. They were supposed to be here at noon today. The captain has just advised me that the tugboats will be here slightly delayed at about 3 o'clock. I think it's to do with the fact that we've drifted away so far away in the wind.
On the third day, things were starting to look up. The engineers were able to restore some more power to the ship, which gave them more working toilets. Not a lot, you know, like 5. There were 5 working toilets for the entire ship of 4,000 people. So you had 2 options. Number one, wait in line for 3 hours to use the filthiest, most disgusting toilet imaginable. Or number 2, go in a bag. Personally, I would have opted for number 2. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is that along with the propulsion systems and the power, the engine fire also knocked out the ship's stabilizers, which was slowly causing it to tilt. By day 3, it was listing at a 5-degree angle, which I know doesn't sound too bad, but it was enough to flood the lower decks with pee-pee. Like, the carpets were literally soaked in urine.
Now the water drains out, and it's all squishy all over the floor. Here's our toilet, pee pot, trash can with a trash bag. And then it goes under there, and we're listing this way, so it goes all the way up, and it'll all be soaking onto the porch soon.
Yeah, you can see it in the video. This is awesome. Watch it go down the stairs.
Turns out that telling people to pee in the shower on a boat with no plumbing was not the best idea. The stench had now spread through the entire ship. Anyone who didn't have a balcony moved up to the poop deck and formed a tent city. It was like a cleaner version of downtown LA. Meanwhile, the tugboats were now pulling the boat to land.
No!
Slowly, but there was a change of plans. By the time the tugboat arrived, the ship had drifted so far north that it was now closer to Mobile, Alabama than Progresso. So the Coast Guard decided to tow the Triumph there instead. Everyone on board was horrified. The only thing worse than being stuck on a boat caked in human shit is being in Mobile, Alabama. I truly can't think of anything worse than that. Now, up to this point, Carnival Corporate had stayed silent.
Nah, you're joking here. Come on. At this point, and the Earth is better than that. Okay, any solid land and any place is better than that ship. Okay.
Silent about the situation, but
this ship is like a portal to hell.
The Carnival CEO stepped up and made a public statement.
I think it's very important that I apologize to our guests and to their families that have been affected by this very difficult situation.
Meanwhile, Carnival's owner chose to show solidarity by attending a Miami
difficult
Heat game.
situation, he said.
The boat was supposed to arrive in port today, but luckily it didn't, or else this video would be way too short. The current was now going against the boat, which really slowed things down, and the ship was moving at about 2 miles an hour. and there were still over 100 miles left. But hey, on the bright side, they were over halfway there. At around noon, a Coast Guard helicopter landed on the boat and delivered a much-needed generator. Why they couldn't have done this earlier, I have no idea, but the generator was able to restore enough power to get 2 of the elevators running, along with most of the toilets. And, to the relief of the passengers, they now had Wi-Fi. The mood improved considerably once people were able to watch funny Family Guy compilations on YouTube again.
Oh, yes, yes.
The boat was so close to Alabama they could practically smell the incest. The captain originally predicted that they would dock sometime in the early afternoon, but they hit another snag on the way. See, the tugboat's tow line broke, which tacked on another few hours to their trip. With the Wi-Fi restored, people on board were starting to realize how big of a news story their situation was. CNN was basically covering it 24 hours a day, non-stop.
Top crews everywhere. Oh my god.
CNN has been on the case.
How I didn't knew this.
For some reason, giving this boat crisis wall-to-covered wall coverage.
I think I should mention a lot of people, including passengers, were saying that the media hype was overblown and the situation really wasn't as bad as they were making it out to be. One survivor said, "I saw a few people crying, but honestly without the dirty..."
Survivor. I mean, come on, the situation is bad, but it's not like their lives are in danger anymore given the situation that, I mean, okay, they have a limited stuff there, but everyone already know that situation. They are even more close than ever now in solid lands, and they have like helicopters and boats and anything else going there and giving them resources, so it's not like they're gonna die or anything like that too.
It wouldn't be too bad. It was like camping on a cruise ship. You know,
But I'm wondering what caused that problem. Where was the cause? How something so big, so dangerous that happened? I mean, why the security in these ships are always so low? Why they don't take care or do checkups in the entire ship before doing I don't know. I don't know why. Oh my god, why this happens so often? Jesus.
I thought this comment was funny because going on a cruise is basically the exact opposite of camping. But there's no doubt that the media definitely sensationalized this story. Some of the passengers who spoke to the press were even accused of exaggerating their stories to get on the news, or to cash in on that sweet class action lawsuit. Nevertheless, it was an absolute PR disaster for Carnival, so corporate had to do some serious damage control before the boat docked. They offered everyone on board a full refund, $500, a credit towards a future cruise, and a Long John Silver's gift card. Most people were happy with these concessions, but not everybody. We'll get to that a little bit later though. At 9:20.
To be honest, they deserve more than that. I don't think it's too much more than that, given that the situation could have been way worse. But, I mean, at least they bit better than that. I know that if you multiply this for like 400 passengers, it's a lot of money, but I mean, this is just too low, okay? This is too low. Given the situation that they passed through and all the problems, etc., this is still too low. I mean, it's better they pay something actually more like fitting for the people, so they don't have later to pay fines on the justice and being sued for them, you know?
PM, the Carnival Triumph docked in Mobile, Alabama. It was finally over. Carnival's CEO was the first on the scene and personally apologized to the passengers and crew.
And I want to apologize again for subjecting our guests to that.
But he wasn't alone, obviously. There were dozens of news crews chomping at the bit to get the juicy scoop on the poop cruise. Some passengers were eager to be.
But I'm curious, what happened to the ship too for that happens? Was it the captain's fault? It doesn't seem to be his fault, but I think his career probably is over after this, even though it wasn't his fault. I mean, wow, this is just terrible. I mean, I don't know. How can one person be responsible for literally everything that happens inside a giant ship like this of this cruise?
Be on TV. Most just wanted to get the fuck out of there and go to sleep. And you would think that Carnival would book them hotels right there in Mobile, but no. They inexplicably put everyone on buses to go to New Orleans, which was 3 hours away. Oh, and get this. On the way there, one of the buses broke down, leaving everyone on board stranded again.
Oh, no. It can't be real. This can't be real. No way. No fucking way. Okay, no fucking way. No, this isn't real. No, 2 times at all? 2 fucking times? Oh my god. This is so... Oh god, no, they are so unlucky. So... Oh my
Out of
god.
habit, they immediately started shitting in bags. It was a disgusting scene. Eventually, everyone made it to the hotel in one piece, but that wasn't the end of the drama with the Carnival Triumph. While it was docked in Mobile's port for repairs, strong winds caused it to break free and drift across the shipyard. It eventually crashed into another ship, causing one dock worker to lose his life in the process.
What the heck? It's like it's cursed. Oh my god. Jesus, I want to stay away from that thing forever.
Now, it should come as no surprise that a lot of people tried to sue Carnival for this fiasco, but they had no case whatsoever because apparently mother suckers didn't read the fine print. Before you step foot on that cruise ship, you basically have to sign your life away. Whatever happens on that boat stays on the boat. You can't do shit about it.
These passengers have no
What
right to
the
sue
heck?
because Carnival's attorneys
Oh
say
my god. But isn't it abusive? For real? Oh
when
no.
you buy your ticket, the ticket contract makes absolutely no guarantee for safe passage, a seaworthy vessel, adequate and wholesome food, and sanitary and safe living conditions. Carnival, because of that, is trying to get the suit tossed.
So when it was all said and done, none of the lawsuits went anywhere. They were shit out of luck. Carnival said that the entire thing was an unavoidable accident. Was it though? Because according to Carnival's own documents, diesel generator number 6, the very same generator that caused all these issues, was overdue for an inspection for over a year. And it gets worse, 2 of the generators weren't even working at all. If those 2 generators had been functioning, this whole situation could have been avoided. Not to mention, this wasn't the first time Carnival had problems with broken fuel lines causing engine fires. Just 1 year before the Triumph, Carnival's Costa Allegra had a similar problem where a broken fuel...
Come on, they need to be sued. They need to be sued. This is abusive. They are clearly making this on purpose. I mean, they are like... They are saving money from fixing things on the ship and taking care of this actual security, so they can gain more money doing that, doing cruise on it. You know, that's just, they need to be sued. Something has to happen with them. This is clearly intentional. This is clearly happening for a long time. I don't think it deserves so they signed, so nothing should happen with that. Oh my god, this is...
fuel line caused the fire and left 1,000 people stranded for 3 days. And in 2010, it happened again on the Carnival Splendor. In fact, this was the 9th incident in...
I know, I understand that this is the fault of the people who sign up. If everything was written there and they put their signature there and paid for that, they agreed with all that stuff. I know that, but don't you agree too that these contracts are so huge to read, like so big that you actually need a lawyer just to sign this? It's the same when you sign up to any social media or anything like that. It's always such a huge, big, giant contracts with very small letters that you just don't want to read that. It's just too huge. You don't want to read that. This is unfair, you know? And more even for people like me that have a strong level of ADHD. So I read one line, 2 lines. When I'm the 30 or maybe 40 line, I need to get back because I already forgot what I was reading the others. So it's just, oh my God, this is just terrible.
2 years. One of Carnival's executives went on CNN and claimed that they were totally in compliance with the rules and regulations of the sea. But here's a dirty secret about the cruise industry.
Totally.
Their regulations ain't worth shit. Carnival and every other American cruise company aren't even technically based in America. The cruise ships themselves are flagged in places like the Bahamas to avoid taxes. So they're not really held to the same level of scrutiny as something like the FAA. Remember, the ship took off knowing that 2 generators didn't work. That's like a plane taking off with only 1 engine. Would that ever be allowed? I sure hope not. And you would think that this whole debacle would be a massive hit to Carnival, but the following year they had their most successful year ever, which just proves the saying, all publicity is good publicity. The Carnival Triumph continues to sail to this very day under its new name, the Carnival Sunrise.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Now, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons and YouTube members that support my work here on YouTube, and especially my 5-tail Fox member, Jans, and my 3-tail Fox members, Heath Rowell and Fenny Sylvy, for the incredible support to my work. You guys are amazing. Also thanks to any of you that support me through Tron for things to the channel and by promoting videos on Patreon. Sending super thanks, or you that just like watch and share my content. Thank you very much. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon, link is in the description below. Come on, after all of this? Come on, Jesus. But I bet the people that are using or going to the cruise in this ship, they don't know. They don't know that this is gonna happen. I mean, it's just like me. I'm just getting informed about what happened to the ship just now, and we are what? It's day 14 of May of 2025. Like, I don't know how much this video has already 1 year. It's saying here 1 year ago. So I have no idea when this happened. I'm just noticing this today. So I wonder that people that went to the new cruises just didn't know anything that happened actually. Probably. Thank everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check my links below, Patreon, Discord server. Consider support me on Patreon, that helps me a lot. If you don't like Patreon for any reason, that's okay. You can help this channel by being a YouTube member. Thank you for watching, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye!